Since we moved to our Hartford location around 5 years ago, our 2,000 litre in-wall tank has become home to a breeding group of filament barbs, greeting customers who come to collect their orders. And as is so often the case, following on from the initial scape and setup excitement, the tank has pretty much sat as it is, with the necessary maintenance and maybe lacking some love. When a customer of ours started discussing a new home for some of the fish he had that were outgrowing their tank, it gave us a thought. Maybe the barbs could do with some tank mates. Maybe it was time to spruce up the Barbican. As is so often the case with an overhaul, we started with a 50% water change, stirring up as much of the gravel and sand as possible to get all of those years of detritus up and into the water column, and hopefully out with the wastewater. The tank does have an Innovatec filter roller unit installed, so anything left behind should be taken care of by that. Then onto the RE-SCAPE. The aquarium has always had a great looking hardscape, and with breeding barbs and some catfish species inside, plants have never really been easy to keep looking happy and healthy. So now we think was the time to embrace the hardscape and bring it to the front and centre. We set about enhancing what was already there with some new large Scottish pebbles, and to top up the natural looking sand to give it a bit more of a river basin feel and hopefully brighten up the whole scape. We went with this natural substrate from Hugo Kamishi, which seemed to do just the job. It took a few hours to get the gravel and pebbles cleaned and added, and with a few tweaks to the existing wood, it was time to let the tank settle back down, ready for its new additions. You will all know what new fish day feels like, a little bit like Christmas Day excitement, and a customer's kind gift of their beloved clown loaches and yo-yo loaches would make a fine addition to the barb tank, even if they were from a different part of the world. Clown loaches are a common fish to see in freshwater aquarium, but can grow quite large, and these particular fish needed a little bit more space to really show themselves off. We hoped that the saving nature of these fish would also help us keep the aquarium free from algae buildup and detritus. Sounded like a perfect match. We got them acclimating for a few hours and then introduced them to the tank. In small numbers, clown loaches can sometimes be quite timid, but in a group of this size, joining one that we'd already had donated a few years back, we were hoping that they would build some confidence. And in a very short space of time, they were out swimming freely with the barbs and perching on the scape like underwater birds, as loaches so often do. After a few weeks to settle in, we called upon our good friends at Limited to install a lovely frosted vinyl backing to the aquarium. With the Aqua Illumination blade and Ecotech freshwater radiant lights positioned and configured just right, the aquarium really did begin to pop. With its new lease of life, hopefully the Barbican tank will excite, intrigue and inspire our customers for many years to come, and hopefully produce lots more baby barbs. If you're in the area, come and meet them all.